guys. We're back, season 3 of the MLB The Show 22 franchise mode. Cincinnati Reds. We got 2 more seasons left to try to win a World Series. It's going to be tough. We made some moves. Nothing crazy. Our rotation pretty much looks the same besides Jordan Hicks. We lost Castillo and Malley. They both wanted a lot of money. Could have brought one of them back, but I figured Jordan Hicks would be a good option. He's only 27. $14 million a year, 3 years. Not too bad. So hopefully he has a good year. Him and Thor both throw those sinkers. Hopefully we can get a lot of ground balls. Hopefully our infield defense is a lot better. And we'll see how it goes. We got Lodolo, Dunn, Green. So our rotation besides Hicks is looking pretty much the same. Gonna hope that Green, Dunn, and Lodolo have very good years. Dunn was really good last year, and then Lodolo was very good as well. Hunter Green's been kind of inconsistent. ERA over 5 last year. Not expecting too much out of a fifth starter, just maybe ERA under 4, and that'd be a good year from him. And then we have some okay minor league depth, nothing crazy, but we do have Chase Petty, who's 20, 71 overall, so he can maybe be a starter next year in the final season or be a trade chip. We'll see. In the bullpen, we added some pieces. We added Jose Alvarado, Matt Barnes. We brought Lopez back, Swanson back. Our bullpen's not nothing crazy, but we did add these 2, which definitely help out. And hopefully they are a huge part of this bullpen. And Lucas Sims, our closer, had a really good year last year. Hopefully he has another good year, a 50-save year last year. And Tyler Stevenson, still our catcher. Miguel Sano's back, first baseman. There weren't a lot of first basemen out there that were really worth getting. And Miguel Sano, he had 40 home runs last year. So we decided to bring him in this ballpark. He could have a huge year. And hopefully he carries this offense along with some others. Jonathan India still a second. Brandon Drury we decided to bring back. Kyle Farmer's still the shortstop. Might look to trade for a different shortstop. I know I said I was going to give Jordan Lawler a chance, but we need to get a shortstop. If shortstop struggles this season, I'll look to trade one. If Kyle Farmer has a solid year, then we might just keep him for another year and let Lawler be our final season shortstop. We'll see. Jay Allen is our left fielder. He's only 21, struggled last year, but he's getting better and better. We got Cedric Mullins still in center field. We did sign Cody Bellinger, and I was debating whether to sign him. Could platoon him at first base. We could put him in the outfield. We could put him at DH. And he had a 20 home run year last year. So not a bad year. Maybe we could find his stroke again in Great American Ballpark. He's only $8 million a year. He's only 28, so really not a bad deal. And then we still got some depth with Almora and Nick Senzel. One of them might have to get traded because they're both going to be, one will not have to be traded, but one of them will probably be out of a job because we want to give Jay Allen some at-bats. And then we got Joey Gallo still in the outfield, $12 million left on his deal. So not a bad pickup for us. Really had a good year last year, 31 home runs, bad 270 for Joey Gallo. That's pretty impressive. So really our lineup's looking pretty solid. We have a lot of guys who could really have big years, especially in the home run category. Guys like Sano and Stevenson and Bellinger. We're really leaning on to help carry this offense. And the pitching might have to make some more moves. But for now, I think we have a pretty solid pitching rotation. And I think we'll be fine to compete. Obviously, there's other moves that need to be made, but there's no free agents out there right now that really help us. So going to go ahead and assemble the draft, let you guys know how that went. I will see you guys then. Just got done with the draft. We have a lot of extra picks because we lost Malley and Castillo, so we got those teams' draft picks. So I'm going to go through them real quick. None of them might not mean anything in this franchise. We got 1 year left, but maybe they'll be trade chips or something down the line. Abe Miller, first round pick. We weren't that bad last year, but 23 years old, B potential, so could develop into something. And we have Jose Melendez, 20 years old. Good to add some starting pitching with some A's and B's potentials because our starting pitching depth has not been good the last 2 seasons. Sean Rosa, just an outfielder to have. We have a lot of good outfielders. Maybe he'll develop into something. Maybe we can use him in a trade package. Vincent Chang, closing pitcher. Usually relief pitchers develop quicker in MLB The Show, so maybe he'll be ready next year just to be an extra relief pitcher. We'll see. And then he's a D potential. There ain't even no point even explaining nothing about him. Probably won't sign him. Tommy Park, starting pitcher, another 20-year-old B potential. Ray Nunez, just catching depth. Ryan Snyder, just extra depth in the minor leagues, a shortstop. And then we have Francesco Estrada, relief pitcher, just to be depth. And then we got this guy in the last round, Vernon Hidalgo. And he's 21, B potential. We got him in the last round of the draft. So really a steal late in the draft. So hopefully these guys could be good trade packages or they develop awfully fast. Like I said, one more season. So I will see you guys at the trade deadline. Hopefully we're competing. So we're at the trade deadline, and we're 3.5 games out of first place. So we're within striking distance. And maybe a few trades could get us over that hump. So we're about to see how the team's been performing. Cedric Mullins has been great, coming off a 31 home run campaign. He's probably going to have that again. He's at 18 bombs, 62 ribbies, and 292 average. So no complaints there from Cedric Mullins. He's been great since we got him in the trade. Jay Allen has struggled. Maybe we just moved him to a bench role or maybe moved down to the minor leagues. I know I kind of rushed him up to the major leagues hoping he'd kind of give us a spark. It hasn't worked out yet, but he's still only 21. He's still young. So maybe we look to trade him for somebody else, or maybe we send him down to the minor leagues, give him an opportunity to get everyday at-bats there, even though he's getting everyday at-bats here, but minor league pitching, maybe he could develop a little more. Tyler Stevenson's been great. Probably going to have a career year. He had 15 home runs last year. His average a little down, but still having a great year overall for a catcher. Miguel Sano went from a C to a A potential. He's at 27 home runs at the trade deadline. Excuse me, I almost said All-Star break. Close to the All-Star break. That's past, but 27 home runs at the trade deadline. 75 runs batted in. He's definitely going to have a great year, possibly a career year. And last year he had 40 home runs, so really impressive for Miguel Sano. Really a great pickup. Joey Gallo's been great. He's due for an extension, so might bring him back for the last season of the franchise, 1-year deal probably, because he has been great as well. 23 bombs, 71 batting. He's hitting for average since he's got here too, which is good for Joey Gallo. Jonathan India's having a great year, 296 average, 13 homers, 57 RBIs. Great year from Jonathan India. Bellinger's having a solid year, probably going to hit around 20 home runs again. So hopefully he gets back on track this year, and next year he has another solid year as well. Drury just hasn't really been it since 2022. Might look for a third base upgrade, different third baseman to have an upgrade. And then Alejo Lopez is playing shortstop, which he has not been very good. Farmer's not been very good. Almora's been very good in that extra outfield role. Maybe we move him to the everyday left field and move Jay Allen to the bench. We'll see what's out there. And then Bella Hojian's not done too much, but he's a backup catcher, not going to play a lot. And then Anderson Tejada, we got from a Rule 5 draft, hasn't done too much, but he's kind of just a guy for defense, not really nothing else. And then we look at the starting rotation. Thor's been very good, 2.81 ERA. I don't understand how his overall is dropping, but he's been tremendous. Jordan Hicks has just been a disaster. Don't know if we should look to trade him, maybe move him to the bullpen, but it has not worked for Jordan Hicks and Cincinnati so far. And then Nick Lodolo, not terrible, but ERAs definitely went up over the last 2 seasons. From the last 2 seasons, I should say, so that's not a good sign. Justin Dunn's had an okay year, but definitely not as good as he was last year. Maybe we move him back to the bullpen. That's where he was so successful. Then Hunter Green, I'm not going to complain about that because he's a 5th starter. 4.39 ERA is not as bad as it was the last 2 years, so I will take that from a 5th spot in the rotation. Renato Lopez has been excellent, really a great pickup for us. He's been excellent in that bullpen. Would move him to the starting rotation, but why break something that don't need fixed? He's been excellent in that long relief role. And then Chase Petty, I think he's a young guy we drafted last year or maybe the year before, but he's been very, very good. We can maybe move him to the rotation, but I think we need a more established arm, a more veteran presence, because we're trying to make a playoff run. And I'm not saying Chase Petty can't do the job, but we need somebody who we know we can count on to help out this rotation, because it's looking like it's not been very good so far. Even though 3 of the guys have fire symbols, overall they have not been great. TJ Antone's not been very good, ERA close to 5. Swanson, not terrible, but ERAs went up compared to last year. Matt Barnes has been very good. Eric Yarley's been good, even though he hasn't pitched that much. Jose Alvarado, pretty solid. I mean, hasn't pitched that much. Seems like our bullpen hasn't gotten too much pitching action, but solid overall. Lucas Sims, 26 out of 30 saves ain't bad. We've been getting a lot of calls on him. A lot of teams have been offering us trades, so it seems like he's a popular name out there on the trade market. Don't know if we're going to trade him, though. So we're going to look at the trade block, see what's out there. it's not looking like any all-stars are out there. A lot of guys who are getting a little older, or a lot of guys who are more, not really all-star level, but there's still some good options. Luke Weaver could be an option. He's pitched great for the Brewers. Obviously, they're in our division, so would it make sense to trade a guy who's pitching that good to a division? If we're going to keep it realistic, probably not. And let's see what else is out here. Colton Wong could be an option for second base. Even though we got India, we can move him over to third or something. Could be an option, but Colton Wong not really he's having a really good year, 304 average, soon to be free agents. That could be something we consider. CJ Abrams, I almost said Abrams. CJ Abrams, I would get him to trade, but I just don't see the Padres trading. We'd probably have to give up a lot to get him. And then John Brebbia could be a bullpen option. He's been very good for the Giants. We could get Anthony Santander, maybe get all the Oriole outfielders at this point, but he could be a solid addition. Looks like Paul Fry is back in Baltimore, which is kind of funny since he went to Arizona. Could be a solid pickup. Sean Newcomb's also having a good year. There's some bullpen arms out there. Trevor Rosenthal could be an option as well. He was with us the first season, pitched very well. We just didn't want to pay him a lot of money. Domingo Germán could be an option. So we got some options pitching. The lineup, maybe not as much, but definitely for the pitching side. I think Matt Manning will be somebody we look to get. And I hate to trade Jordan Hicks because we just got him, but I just don't know if we really have room for him right now. We could move him to the bullpen. Maybe I'll offer them for Matt Manning. I'll offer them TJ Antone, who's having kind of a down year. Maybe a change of scenery to help him out. And let's see. Trying to see what we could offer because we don't want to give up too much, but we definitely could use the help. Jordan Hicks, it's just, I don't want to give up on Jordan Hicks so early in a contract. I'm not that type of person, but it's like he hasn't really pitched very well. And maybe in the bullpen, but we paid him starting pitching money. So it's like we kind of need him to be a starter, paying a relief pitcher 14. There's relief pitchers that get paid that much, but we kind of paid him this much to be in the rotation. He just hasn't worked. And maybe the Tigers, it looks like they need, actually they don't really need some starting pitching. They got a really solid rotation. Wow, their rotation's actually very good. Their bullpen could use some help, so I'll keep Jordan Hicks, probably move him to the bullpen, and maybe offer them TJ Antone. I'll offer them Rich Ruiz, who's a potential, and maybe Michael Quinn, who's 20, D potential. We could offer that. Get Matt Manning. There we go. So we got a new starting pitcher. We'll go ahead and put him in the rotation. Jordan Hicks, I have to move to the bullpen. We'll put him in a setup role and see how he does from there. And hopefully it works out. So it sucks to add Hicks to the bullpen. Not what we wanted to do, but maybe he'll get his groove back and pitch very well out of the bullpen. We'll see. Matt Manning slides in the rotation. We still got him for a few years. He's still young. He's having a great year. So maybe him and Thor could kind of help out this rotation. And let's see what's out there just one more time before we go ahead and see how we end the season. And maybe we could get Castellanos, but he's owed $20 million a year, and it wouldn't make sense to add him back to the Reds. Anyways, could use an outfielder. Brandon Marsh is definitely an option. Having an okay year, 285 average. It's not much power. Santander would be a really good addition to this team, and he's a soon-to-be free agent. I think offering Almora Jr., I don't know if him for Santander is fair straight up. I don't want to rob the Orioles. So maybe we look to offer maybe like a starting pitcher. Maybe like this guy, Matt. Or maybe Oliver Castro, 21, for Anthony Santander. So Santander will be our everyday outfielder in left field. We'll give Allen some time in the bench, and we got rid of Almora, who was playing very well for us, by the way. But it's just like we got to update this, upgrade this team. I guess you could say update. We're updating the team, upgrade, whatever you want to say. But we got some solid pieces now. Shortstop, I'll keep it. I think it could work because we have such a good 1 through 7 and 1 through 8 punch in our lineup. Drury, hopefully he can have a bounce back. There ain't really a lot of third basemen out there. So we had Anthony Santander, who has 16 bombs, 42 RBIs. So hopefully this is enough. I'll let you guys know how the season ends, and I will see you guys then. Season, unfortunately, we did not make the playoffs. About to see what awards we won. Joey Gallo led the league in walks. When is the day you would ever think that would be the case? Wow. 100 walks for Joey Gallo, and that is actually surprising. And then we won a gold glove at pitcher, center field, and right field. So Joey Gallo just had an all-around great year. And let's see how the standings were. We ended up finishing 4th. The Cardinals came back and won the division. They were like 7 out at the All-Star break or at the trade deadline. So that's actually very surprising. And we ended up finishing 4th, 8 games back. So not the year we expected. We added Santander, Matt Manning. It just didn't work out. We got one more year to get this right. And it was a very close division. 1-2 games back with the Brewers and Cubs. So let's see how everybody did. Cedric Mullins had a solid year. Average was down a little bit. OPS, the OPS was about where it was. Slugging was down a little bit compared to last year. But still a solid year. 26 bombs, 93 runs batting, about where he was last year. Santander was great, 23 home runs, 70 RBIs, 282 average, so a great addition to our lineup. Stevenson had a pretty close year to what he had last year. The average down a little bit, but pretty much typical Tyler Stevenson year. It's looking like we're going to get. So no complaints there. Miguel Sano, 1 home run short of a back-to-back 40 home run campaign, but he drove in 109 runs batted in. He struck out 204 times, but you're going to take that when you're getting 39 bombs, so no complaints there. Joey Gallo, we did sign him to an extension, and it's a little pricey, but the numbers he's been putting up, I'm okay paying that. Him and Sano have been a force in our lineup. India had a great year. The home run was down, the power was down a little bit, but still a great year from him. Bellinger had a really good year, actually. 27 home runs, 83 RBIs. They got him for another year. So our lineup's not looking like it's really the problem. So in the offseason, obviously third base and shortstop could be what we look to upgrade like I tried to do at the trade deadline. But Drury had an okay year. Nick Senzel was hurt a lot again. Probably won't bring him back. He just wasn't that good. Jordan Lawler could be our shortstop. He's developing really quick. Jay Allen didn't have a great year. Bella Hojan didn't really play too well. And then Anderson, Tejada. And then we look at the starting rotation. Thor had a great year, 13-7. We'll probably bring him back, so we're going to need some rotation help. Matt Manning didn't pitch well for us. The ERA went up, unfortunately. Nick Lodolo had an okay year. Justin Dunn did not have a great year. ERA over 5. And Hunter Green, again, struggled. ERA worse than last year. He just hasn't been that good. And maybe we moved him to the bullpen and look to trade him. Renato Lopez was excellent. His ERA went down, 2.74. So he's been really good out of the bullpen. Like I said, he's been a great addition. Chase Petty didn't have a great second half. His ERA was close to almost 3.5. And it went up to 4.31. So just not a great second half for Chase Petty. Eric Swanson had a great second half, 3.35 ERA. Matt Barnes' ERA went up. Still not a bad year, but definitely not what he was the last 2 years. Jose Alvarado had an excellent year, great addition, cheap addition to our bullpen, has worked out. Eric Yarley was good, limited innings, but still was good. Jordan Hicks just didn't have a good year. Hopefully next year he can bounce back, or maybe we just look to trade him in the offseason. We'll see. Not what I expected from adding Jordan Hicks. And then Lucas Sims, not as good, but not a terrible year. So all in all, not a terrible season for a lot of these guys, but the pitching definitely has to be better. So maybe we look to make some trades and see what happens there. And let's see who wins the World Series. So the Braves defeat the Angels to be the 2024 World Series champions. So I'm going to go ahead and go the off season. and Miguel Cabrera gets in the Hall of Fame. I'm going to go ahead and go in the off season. I will let you guys see when I get to free agency, and I will see you guys then. Here we are in free agency. And there's a lot of guys we let go. It's the final season. Not going to spend a ton of money because we're being realistic. I'm not going to do what I did with the Pirates and sign Juan Soto, even though it's tempting. Going to keep it realistic. The rotation is going to need some work because maybe we give Jordan Hicks another shot. I mean, he's still on the team. Maybe look to trade him. We'll see what our plans are. Syndergaard currently isn't on the team. We offer him a qualifying offer. We'll see if he accepts. There's a lot of options out here, though, in free agency, and definitely could upgrade the rotation. The bullpen could use some upgrades, too. We let a lot of guys leave. So maybe we go get some guys like Tommy Kahnle and Dylan Floro, guys like that. And then, I mean, our lineup, besides third base and shortstop, is pretty set. So, and maybe we give Jordan Lawler an opportunity. Maybe we just sign a third baseman, let him play short the last year, see how he does. But we have a lot of options in this lineup to be very successful. Maybe we could sign somebody like Yohan Moncada, do a deal. He had a good year last year, add some more depth to our lineup. I mean, there's some solid additions. We got Bregman. I mean, obviously he'll want a lot of money, so we'll see. Maybe Yohan Moncada. We'll see what he wants. Maybe a 2-year, $15 million deal. Actually, probably a little lower than that because the Brewers, we'll just offer him a 1-year, $7 million deal. See if he accepts. It's not too pricey. He's only 29. He could come in, be our everyday third baseman. Probably sign extra shortstop. Maybe someone like Ricky Martin or something just to come in and be a depth guy. But really the pitching is what I want to focus on because we need some pitching. And it's really what screwed us over last year. We didn't have a lot of pitching. I mean, we did have a lot of pitching, but not a lot of good pitching. And I think maybe someone like Scott Alexander would be good. Maybe offer him like a $4.3 million deal. He had a solid year when he another lefty out of that bullpen. And our bullpen's really wide open besides Barnes, Alvarado, Lopez, and obviously Lucas Sims is a free agent as well. So we also could use a closer. So there's a lot of work to do. So we definitely need to make some moves. Maybe we go after somebody like Freddie Peralta. We need some help in this rotation, that's for sure. And I think Marcus Stroman would be a good addition. I don't know how much money he's going to want. We don't want to throw too much money around. Sounds like the Cubs are but they're going to offer him more money. Or not offer more money, but he's probably won't want to stay there. He's comfortable in Chicago. But we have a lot of options, and it's going to be hard to choose. Obviously, I would love to have someone like Corbin Burns, but he's going to want a lot of money, and we're already offering a lot of money to a lot of other guys. So it's a tough situation for the Reds because they're not like the Yankees and the Dodgers. They can just go out after Flaherty and Buehler and Bieber and Woodruff and Burns and all these guys. But we definitely could probably get a solid starting pitcher. Nathan Eovaldi, even though he's 35, would he be somebody we look to get? I mean, the Rockies are offering him a 1-year deal. Chris Sale could be an option. I mean, there are a lot of older guys. Pablo Lopez would definitely be a good addition. I think he'd be a solid addition, actually. I mean, I'm going to offer him 5 years, $50 million. It's a lot, but it's the final season. It's not a lot. The Reds would probably offer that. So Pablo Lopez could be a guy we bring into our rotation. He's been very good, especially for the Marlins this year. And the real MLB, he's been electric. So if you put him, Lodolo, Hicks, Manning, and Hunter Green, not sure if he's going to be in the rotation or not. He might be moved to long relief. We'll see. And maybe a Freddie Peralta. Like I said, definitely consideration. Thor, we'll see what Thor does, and then we'll decide. And then for the bullpen, Kendall Graveman, going to offer him a 1-year, $7 million deal. See if he accepts that. So that's who I'm offering deals to right now. I'll let you guys know if anything pops up, if we do any trades, but I will see you guys at the beginning of next season. We're heading to the final season of this franchise, and before I end this video, I'm going to show you guys the moves we made. Thor ended up accepting the qualifying offer. Happy about that. We get him for another season. Hopefully he can carry us to a postseason spot. We got Pablo Lopez. $10 million a year for the way he pitches. Ain't bad at all. So hopefully he gives us some stability in this rotation that we have needed. The pitching has been a big problem for us the last 2 years. Jordan Hicks, hoping for a bounce back year. I know I said I was probably going to trade him. There was just too many guys on the free agent market that were out of our price range, so I decided to keep him around, hoping he has a bounce back year. He's still only 28. It can't be any worse than last year. As long as he gives us an ERA of at least 4 under, I'll be satisfied with that. Nick Lodolo hoping for a bounce back year. Not that he pitched bad last year, but his ERA went up a lot, so hopefully he has a bounce back year. Then Matt Manning will be our 5th starter, and then Hunter Green will be in the bullpen along with Chase Petty. Bullpen, we had a few arms. Alvarado still here. Matt Barnes, Lopez. We had a Scott Alexander on a 1-year deal, $4.3 million. He had a good year last year. And then Swanson's back. So our bullpen still could use some upgrades, but I think it'd be good with our rotation. And then we brought in Kendall Graveman. We lost Sims in free agency. He wanted a lot of money. We already put a lot of money into other positions. So Kendall Graveman, he had a solid year last year. Hopefully he can come in and kind of be our shutdown closer. Tyler Stevenson, obviously, will still be the catcher. And then Miguel Sano will still be at first base. Indy at second base. We ended up signing Yohan Moncada, which is a great addition. Definitely going to be a solid addition to our lineup. Switch hitter, had 18 bombs last year. I feel like he'll have at least 25 in this hitter-friendly ballpark. So hopefully that addition works out. And then Jordan Lawler will give him, with the way this lineup's pretty deep. So I think he'll be pretty good at shortstop. He's a 76 overall. He got some time in the big leagues last year. We're going to give him a shot and see how he does. Then Jay Allen, he'll be our 4th outfielder. We still got Mullins, Bellinger, Gallo, and then we do got Santander as well. So Jay Allen might not be a lot of playing time, but at least he'll get some at-bats here and there. So that's the moves we made. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys for season 4.